Let's look at the real estate sector. In the wake of the recent pandemic, the Nigerian real estate sector was one of the worst hit sectors. Its impact was radically altered, or has radically altered the industry's long-term expectations. More than a year after, Nigeria is still reeling from the COVID-19 shock, which every sector of the economy touched, but the real estate industry, the effects remained huge. Well, we'll confirm that. Despite a range of pressing challenges, Nigeria's real estate sector is set to continue to expand in the future, albeit at a slower pace than over the past decade. With the industry slowly emerging from the pandemic-induced recession, it is expedient for the industry as players to rethink and retool their construction processes and material sourcing in order to remain relevant in the industry, as well as maximize profit. Well, of course, I'm not going to be doing this alone. I have the managing director of Atco Homes, if I'm correct, ATCO Homes. He's Mr. Triumph Abaton Oluwayomi. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I was able to get the name very well.
Yeah, you got it right.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us in the studio. Like I identified in my introduction, you're a real stakeholder in this sector, in the real estate sector. What would you really say, or can we quantify the impact of COVID-19 on the entire sector?
Well, thank you very much for having us here. What I want to say about the impact of COVID on our sector is that I won't say it's positive, but it is. Because being a Nigerian, and there's a peculiarity about us, there's a uniqueness about us, we would not allow something to get us down.
True.
And so, for example, last year, we in our own company, we did very well. We moved from like 4 estate to like.
Wow.
And so we will say COVID actually had positive impact on us. And a lot of people in the diaspora actually equally, invested heavily into the sector last year, So there was a huge impact, positive impact of COVID on our sector.
Wow.
People want to have their own homes now and save and keep safe. And so a lot of people start looking into, okay, I need to have my own home. I need to be distant from people. So in a way, COVID has brought blessing to the sector.
Oh, that is really good to know. Let's also touch on some other economic issues. Inflation is high.
Yes.
Price of materials and all of that.
Yes.
How is that also impacting the sector?
Well, good. Inflation is high, just as the CBN and the governor just said the last time about Dangote coming up. For example, the increase of inflation or the challenges of economy in the country is evenly distributed. And so it's not weighing down on a particular sector. And as you will also see, and everybody also know, that the government, they are doing their best. They are trying. Just as one musician would say, that water is the one that is just more than the gari. But they are really trying. Okay, so it's now up to us, the drivers in this sector, to think out of the box and get things done. And I would tell you that with or without inflation, we are doing very well. The sector is doing very well.
We have always had this argument, and I don't know which figure to follow. If it's Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, if it's the one from the housing unit, that we have this 20 million. At the time it was 17 million. At the time 20 million. We have this deficit, talking about housing deficit. Now, do you think the impact from private individuals like you or private players like you, can it bridge this gap? How well is it bridging the gap?
We can only do this little, this much. Okay? As I say, I still want to give kudos to the government. They're trying. We can't have a perfect government in any country. And so they are doing their best. But now, when it comes to leveraging and helping our people, it is our responsibility. It is our responsibility. We will not. Nobody will build our country for us. And so every one of us in the industry, in the real estate industry, are actually weighing on that and leveraging on that to make sure that we help people in the low earners, the middle earners, the average earners, and equally the elite. And so, for example, in our company, we have a structure in place that help the low earners. Okay, we have a structure that you can pay over 2 years. Our houses, you can pay over 2 years. And then with just something small, you can equally start owning your land. We have a program in place that in Bejuleke, we have land. Most of our estates are in Bejuleke, Ajah area. We have, some land that are close to Dangote Refinery, and that we're going for 900 per plot. And then what we did was, okay, for you that you're a low earner, you can start with 30,000 naira per month and spread it over 2 years. So this initiative is coming from some of us in the sector. For example, also there's one of our products that we actually attach a car to. That if you buy 3 plots of this from this estate, you'll be given a Toyota Corolla. And that is to help someone to increase income to the family and equally help you to pay the money for the land, because we spread it over 2 years also. That, okay, whatever you can bring, have a mind to buy 3 plots, and then we deposit of maybe 5 million naira, and then we spread the remaining over 2 years, and then you have a Toyota Corolla that you can use as Uber that can bring in something. Now, in Nigeria today, I stand to be corrected, but we had the first and the only company doing this in the real estate world. And so these are programs put in place to help people in the low earning class to do well and equally to have their own houses.
Now, mortgage penetration is arguably low in the country, one way or the other. What do you think can be done to improve this?
Mortgage is practically in the hand of the government. It's practically in the hand of the government. Okay, the CBN must come into play in this area. But for us as a private company, what do? Just as I explained, we have a structure in place. If you are interested in our properties, okay, you show your interest by paying a commitment fee, and after paying the commitment fee over a period of 10 years. For example, for our estates that we have in Abraham Adesanya, over a period of 10 years, we spread your payment plan. For us, that's a mortgage plan. But it's not coming from the government, it's coming from the individual. The challenge is that, look, there are challenges, but we are in business to solve problems. And so we will not sit on our shores and just be celebrating the challenges. That's the essence of being in business, to solve problems, to be a solution provider to all the challenges. And that's what we're doing.
We need to now touch on those challenges. I know there was a time that the state government was trying to regularize and formalize all of those dealing in this sector. I think there were some things being done. But aside that, what are the challenges you face in your day-to-day runnings?
Yeah, the challenges we have, they're much, as I said. But as a principal person, I want to talk about it, because we have been talking about it over the years. But we are here to solve it. And let me just cite one example for you. The area of insecurity. Now, what all in the sector, that has created a job for so many people, because we find out that, okay, government is trying their best, but their best is not good enough. Okay, so what we did is now we equally provide solution. And so we have people that set up, security agency, and then we train individuals and then move them to the estate. So we're solving problem in that area. Okay, what about the problem of lighting? The same thing. Okay, we can't just sit and say, oh, government, you are not doing what you are supposed to do, therefore we are folding our hands. So the problems are there, the solution must be given, and that is the essence of being in business. We have security challenges, but I mean, in the midst of that, we're still taking care of ourselves. We have light challenges. In the midst of that, we are still taking care of ourselves. Water challenges, we're still taking care of ourselves. Cleanliness, sewage challenges, we're still taking care of ourselves. And so I wouldn't want to, point any blame or direct anything to anyone.
You will definitely need some support from government to enable you do better. Like we know before now, we always have issues around land ownership, land issues. Are we not having all of that anymore?
That has been sorted. That has been sorted greatly. There's a land act that has been initiated, for example, in Lagos State, that it makes Omoniles to sit up, because you dare not. When the papers for a land is total and the certificate of ownership is given, okay, to the company. Our moneyless are out. And then what we do again is we won't leave our land bare, open, for after we have been given, the consent of governor or the government on this property, we'll leave it bare open. No, we fence our lands. And so you see a lot of businessmen in this estate business, they fence all their land. And so we have gatehouses and we have it fenced. So the challenge with Omolile is already out of the box. It's out of the box.
I won't do this discussion without talking about materials. That is key.
Yeah.
Materials, cement, and all of that. We see what the prices are in the market. How has that been? Because many say that if you don't want to do what is right, people now have to build below standards, and that's why we have challenges at times. So what are you saying about prices? How is that also affecting business?
The truth is this: if you have a heart for God, for people, you understand, you don't need to be too religious. When you have a heart for people, look at Dangote. He has a heart for people, and so he put in place measures to make sure that people are okay. In the same vein, if you have a heart for people, not just about the gains, not just about the gains. Do you know something? There's a Yoruba hadith that says that if you cook vegetable in a groundnut shell and then you pound yam in leaves, it said the person that will still be full will be full. Okay, so that's the situation. We have bad eggs, and then equally we have good ones. So it's our responsibility as clients and customers to look out for the good ones that will use the right materials, no matter the price. Everything is being factored into what we are selling, no matter the price. Except if we are looking for too much, gain.
Which happens sometimes.
But that is now the duty of customers to look into the structure or into the sector and see who can I deal with? Who can I deal with that can give me rest of mind? Okay? I made a proposition not too long ago, and I told my team, I said, listen, we are in this business and we build homes that people can live in. No, we don't build for people to sell. You understand? We are not building to sell. We are building that you will live in. What do I mean? That is, the house that I will put up for sale is the house that I know I can live in. And we have so many of us in the sector that are doing this. They're not doing shady business because everything will be factored in at the end of the day. Everything will be factored in at the end of the day.
Well, like I was saying too, the sector seems to be getting more prominent with all of you players coming in, and is it that same passion that is bringing everybody in, or some people are just there to make the money? Like you might not be. You're saying that the passion is there, but some people are there just to make that money. So how has it been working together with colleagues and all of that? How has it been so seamless?
It's just it's the law of. The law of relationship and association. Okay, like will always beget like. Like will always beget like. I have my friends that are doing very well also in the industry, and they have good heart. Those are my friends. Like will always beget like. I mean, there are other guys that are there because of money, but majority that I know, they are there to serve humanity. They are there to serve. For example, I just told you that you buy 3 plots of land and then get a car. Who does that? Who does that? And we're not giving you a rickety car. We're giving you a car that can equally bring income on your table. You know what I mean? So it is the heart. It's not the volume that you heap up at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, it's all. We'll leave everything here. And so it's the heart to serve humanity, to help people live a better life. You understand? To bring people out of poverty and then help them, steady them, and move them forward. Those are my friends. Those are my friends. And so the other guys, I really don't know them because I don't need to have them as my friends.
What are the prospects for this sector? Let's now look at prospects as we move on. It's a year, the second wave of COVID-19. Well, thank God the vaccines came in yesterday. So I think a little bit of optimism. Everybody's a lot of positive figures coming from here and there. What's the prospect for Nigeria's real estate sector?
Huge. For example, in Lagos State, Lagos State has when it comes to land size, we are the smallest.
Yes, smallest.
But yet, there are so many vast land that have not been tapped into. For example, I was discussing with a team of directors that in some other countries, like Asia, for example, that I know because I worked there as a missionary in South Korea and Japan, and I found out that the way they develop their cities is the government seat moving from one place to the other. I told my friend, I said, I think I don't know if the government of Lagos State can do that, but they need to relocate. When they relocate from Ikeja to a place like Ibejuleki, development will move. Relocate from there to another place that we have, for example, let the government relocate from Ikeja and go to Alagbado, the whole place will be developed. That was the way South Korea developed all their cities. They moved from one place to the other. So in the same way, the prospect is this. We just need visionary leaders. We need leaders that are not concerned about their own only. Leaders that can look at the next 20, 50 years. What can we do that will make a change in this particular, scenario? And that's, for example, we have too many people that are not doing anything. Okay? But do you know that the way South Korea moved out of poverty was actually building? They borrowed money and they didn't direct to any other place, but direct into building. And then employ their own people. And as they employ their own people, they are paying back taxes to the government. And they are living in the house. And so things were happening. There's a model that a former governor of Akwa Ibom did, and I love him. The same model they tried in Akwa Ibom. He engaged Julius Berger for the road and for the construction infrastructure, and then had a contract that, look, give this job to my people, but you supervise them. And then they will equally service to maintain this facility for 50 years. So everybody in Akwa Ibom has work to do. Every state should be able to do that. The whole country should be able to do that. We don't need to sit down in Aso Rock alone in Abuja. We can move the seat of government. And so you see, you move from one place to the other, move from one place to the other. The whole entire country, will be massively developed. So there are huge prospects, We still have land. And equally, the water is equally plus the land.
That's where you see a lot of work going on even in the waters.
Huge
and I really wonder. Let's wrap up on this on a note of looking inwards now. Local content and all of that in the building industry. Are we getting there? I hear our cables are the best. I don't know about any other thing, but I now hear of cables and all of that. So how are we doing with local content?
We're doing very well. We have Dangote Cement. We have Elephant there also.
I think Lafarge is also a player in that sector.
The sector. And we have enough water to mix the cement. We have gravel. We have everything. We're doing very well. We have iron. We're doing very well. Sir, people should just be sincere. We're doing very well. Nigeria is blessed. I mean, I was talking to somebody. This is just out of the way. Just pass. I was just sharing with someone, an engineer, and he's an international guy. He told me that the lineup of investors on Nigeria is amazing to him. That we are thinking that there is crisis, but players are waiting. That there's no crisis in this country. What they are seeing is blessing. What they are seeing is expansion. What they are seeing is increase. And so we inside need to change our orientation. We need to change the way we see things. We just need to change the way we see things. But there's huge prospect and there's blessing in the land because the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof.
It's really great to have you join us on the show. At least you'll be able to let us understand how easy it is that we can even get a car. That was an advert, actually. But all the same, thank you so much, Managing Director at Co-Homes, Mr. Triumph Baton Oluwayomi. We hope to have you again shortly to talk more about all of these sectors as developments continue to happen. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, then.